Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Cape Town for the IFSC African Championships 2020. We're here in CityROCK, Cape Town, the venue for this combined format event. The men are competing today for that coveted Olympic position. First place in the rankings at the moment, David Naudia. He came second in speed and first in the bouldering. Just behind him is Cossa. He came first in the speed and fourth in the bouldering. Joining me for a brief moment is Erin Sturkenberg. She won the women's event yesterday. Erin, welcome to the commentary booth.
Thank you very much.
So we just saw some incredible bouldering going on here. Chris obviously hoping to win this competition. David as well. The scoring system works on multiplying each athlete's position in the different disciplines. What does Chris need to do if he wants to take it home?
Yeah, it was so close, but Chris pretty much needs to win this lead. Well, yeah, win this lead competition. Bouldering was super tense. We were all watching, and we didn't know how it was going to go. It basically came down to the last zone, which sadly Chris didn't get, which put him in fourth. So it is very close.
Chris being a really strong lead competitor. Erin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
KP. Coming out onto the mat now, Christopher Wallace from KwaZulu-Natal. Siobhan Patience on the belay. Joining me now for commentary on the lead route. KP, you heard from him yesterday. Chris Wallace with a big move up into the first hold. KP, welcome to the mic.
Thank you for having me back, Alistair. I'm very excited for the show we're about to see. It looks like a really cool route, and the scores are pretty spicy at the moment, so yeah.
Yeah, one zone just separating Chris and David there in the boulders. And Christopher Wallace here on the lead route, just making sure he can reach that clip before he pulls up a whole load of slack. It's a little further than he thought. Swapping hands.
Except giving him quite a few struggles there.
KP, this route's slightly different to the qualifier route, similar to the ladies' route. As these climbers go up the wall, hopefully our viewers at home will get a better view of it. Slightly overhanging at the start here. Chris doing well to move through this section. Chris wearing a helmet to protect his noggin. Not the worst idea when lead climbing.
So compared to the men's qualifier, this route already, like from the beginning, is already testing them a bit. You saw that little small jump they had to do to start, and then they're on a lot smaller holes as well. I think with the qualifier we only saw those small holes really coming into play at the top of the route, and most of us didn't get there. I'm part of that group. Wow.
So you can see some different colored holes on the wall here. Black and yellow being the holes that the climbers are allowed to use. Chris taking a moment to chalk up before he heads into the upside down horizontal roof, a popular feature here on the walls of CityROCK Cape Town. Chris getting onto some of those volumes. His feet just a little lower still, keeping a little bit of weight on his feet and stretching to get that clip in. Jumping into a really good jug on one of those volumes, matching his toe next to his hand there.
Looking very strong here, not afraid of cutting loose there. It's quite very, I think compared to the women's route yesterday, it's a lot harder to read in the overhang. I think we'll be seeing a lot more feet flying around, going back and forth, and then all that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, one of the route setters I was chatting to earlier said lots of switching back and forth as they shift body positions to get the most out of each hand hold. Of course, where your feet and body is in relation to the hold being crucial in how good it feels on the hands. And you can see Chris making his way through the ceiling, it looks like, this horizontal roof here in CityROCK Cape Town. Each athlete has 6 minutes to get to the top of the route, and this route's not particularly long, a little bit longer than last time, the route the guys were on Friday. You can see some really good technique here from Christopher Wallace as he manages to keep his feet on the wall.
You can see him really starting to fight now. There you go, turning around, feet flying back. Just try to get a double knee bar there. He's trying to work his way around wrestling these volumes.
Can see the results of 3 runs on the speed wall, 9 minutes on the boulder wall, just really tiring young Christopher Wallace out. Really good performance from him. Doesn't look too happy as he gets to the ground. Sure, he thought he could have gotten a little bit further. The sport climbers from KwaZulu-Natal generally quite comfortable on climbing upside down.
You can see the exhaustion on his face.
Up in the isolation zone, Matthew Thunderbolt comes around. Ken Jennings, who joined me earlier on belay duty. Matthew getting a little look at the route. The athletes have viewed the route earlier, and as they come out they have 45 seconds to look at the route again before they're required to get onto the wall. Matthew making good use of his time there. Yeah, you can see that big move that KP was talking about. Quite a big reach up. Matthew clipping the first quick draw. For those of you that have just joined us, this is the African Championships combined event, qualification event for the Olympic Games to be held in Tokyo next year. The first time climbing is in the Olympic Games. A really exciting moment for our sport, and a really exciting moment for sport climbing in Africa and South Africa.
And a very exciting moment for Erin and whoever comes to win this male final.
Matthew just moving down a little bit into a more comfortable resting position, taking a moment to chalk his hands. That long black hold called a tufa, after the tufas you find in limestone. Sport climbing on limestone being one of the styles you can engage in it.
Matthew's just struggling a little bit more than Chris did with this beginning section. He's trying to work out that sequence through there, but he seems to be moving quite quite well through it. Just maybe not as dynamic and as confident as Chris was doing.
You can see Matthew just hanging on with 2 fingers there. Into that big yellow hold.
Matthew just really taking his time on this route, trying to focus, making sure he's not making any mistakes. Let's see how that helps him with the overhang and how his pump handles.
Matthew recently got the first ascent on a 33 sport climbing route in his home province of the Eastern Cape. 8B plus for our international viewers. And I'm sure that's giving him a bit of confidence going into the lead climbing portion of this event.
All of these male athletes are not only some of South Africa's best competition climbers, but they're very well decorated outdoor climbers as well.
Yeah, South Africa has a really strong heritage in outdoor climbing.
Matthew really moving slowly and strongly through this the beginning of this overhang section.
You can see how he's taking a little more time to place his feet securely. When Chris was climbing through the section, his feet were cutting, slipping off the holds, and he was hanging just by his hands. Matthew doing well to use his feet while keeping some of the weight on his feet and off of his hands. Looks like he's got a knee bar here that he's using to rest a little bit, get some chalk, get some blood back into his forearms. This section through the roof here really working the core of the climbers. Have to work really hard to keep their body horizontal and not let their legs drop down. As Matthew gets further and further into this horizontal section, his core becomes more and more tired, making it harder and harder to keep his feet on. Matthew with not much time left on the clock.
That next volume there above his head is where we lost Chris. And Chris was there with a lot more time on the clock than Matthew has left now.
Matthew cutting his feet and just not able to maintain the pressure required to hold on to those handholds. Coming down to the ground, not super chuffed.
No. There's that smile we like to see.
A good effort from this young man. Did well to make it into the finals of this event. James Barnes, climbing shoes on, chalking up his hands, having a little bit of banter with Siobhan. Shiv is one of the route setters involved in this competition this weekend. He knows all these climbers really well. That's of course quite key in making sure the problems and the routes are an appropriate difficulty. James Barnes didn't have the best speed performance, but he did really well, coming third in the boulders.
Just judging by James's climbing style and what I thought of the route when I was reading it, I thought this would really suit his very dynamic, flowy style.
James,
I really think that was the style the route setters were going for.
Yeah. James spends quite a bit of time climbing in the province of his birth, KwaZulu-Natal. Lots of big caves and roofs there. He'll be very comfortable climbing through the roof of this lead route today. During his time working at CityROCK Johannesburg, James was involved in the designing of this facility. And in some ways, this horizontal roof is one of his creations. You can see James really cruising up this first section. James using his toes really well there, dropping his knee in and just pressing between his feet to keep his body a bit closer to the wall. Crossing through into that 2-finger pocket. James going for the double tap, clipping 2 quick draws from the same hold. Climbers have to be careful not to climb too high above a quick draw. They can get into an illegitimate position and the judges will call them off if they get too high.
James really flying through that beginning section in comparison to Matthew there.
Yeah, James has used about as much time as Matthew had left. James still with 4.5 minutes of his 6. Taking a moment to get a really good rest, a shake out here. James is familiar with some of these holds in the roof. He knows that they're quite good.
Making his way strongly and confident through that first little sequence.
James finding that knee bar straight away, using it to help him in the clip there. There you can see his knee on the top bottom of his thigh. Top because he's upside down. Press against that grey volume and his toe on a big black jug, just pressing between the two, creating a nice resting position. The route setters putting that knee bar in. I'm sure they know the competitors would make use of it to rest, but it's quite an intense position, requiring a lot of core to keep your body upright and prevent it from sagging down. James moving into some of the smaller holds in the roof here. So far we haven't seen any climber get further than this. James moving the high point higher.
Still looking nice and fresh through these balls. Not a sign of tiredness on him. Just taking a moment to pause before making his way onto that last volume.
James really showing some of the strength in his upper body there.
Very calm, very cool and collected. Just a slight foot slip there. Ooh.
James Barnes with the high points on the lead route so far. Tony Flynn up next, currently in 6th place. He ranked 5th in the speed, 5th in the boulder. You can see one of the camera guys getting a little artsy in the background there. James with the high points on hold 31 moves him into 1st place in the lead. Five competitors still to climb. Let's see if James can maintain his first position in lead. Tony will be hoping to knock him off that pedestal. Off of your screen, James has untied his knot, the rope is being pulled. That means Tony will be on the wall shortly. For those of you that are just joining, welcome. We're here in Cape Town, South Africa, looking to see who will win this competition and a spot in the Olympic Games. Tony Flynn about to hop onto the wall.
Just a little rope issue there. I'm sure he'll recover from that quite easily. He too, like James, has quite a dynamic style. So I think this beginning especially will suit him quite nicely. Very strong and confident through these moves.
Tony also double tapping those two quick draws. Putting his left heel above his hand there on that yellow sloper.
Tony moving at quite a similar pace to James here. So he just takes a moment to rest a bit before tackling this overhang section.
Over in Australia, the results of the Oceania competition have been decided. Tom O'Halloran and Oceana Mackenzie winning their Continental Olympic positions. Congratulations to the both of them. Here in South Africa, a few hours behind. We're in it with the men. Tony just sorting out the rope in relation to his body there. One of the...
Just starting to struggle a bit there.
Tony into a better position here with his legs squeezing that grey volume, taking some of the weight off his hands, giving his forearms a little respite.
Successfully in a provisional second place at the moment. A very small crowd here gets behind him and we lose Tony just underneath where James was.
Yeah, thanks KP. That'll put Tony second place for the lead at the moment. Not quite managing to get past James's high point of hold 31. Down below, while the climbers are climbing, the judges and the scorers have a photo of the route. Each hold has a number, increasing as it makes its way, as the route makes its way up the wall. Climbers are hoping to get as high up the wall as they can. And if they make it to the top, that's the best they can do. Should 2 climbers make it to the top, it'll come down to the time it took them to get there. David Naudia up next on the lead wall, currently ranked first in this competition, second in speed, first in boulder. Well known as a boulderer. David's not too shabby on the lead wall. If he can top this route, that'll give him a really, really good chance of winning this competition.
Just a bit of a misstep there. Not quite sure what happened. But he seems to be moving from it quite well.
Yep, quite tricky in these competitions to put a mistake behind you and forget about it. Quite a lot of mental pressure on young David Naudia as he climbs up the wall here. He knows what's at stake. He's been to the Youth Olympics. He's hoping to make it to the big leagues.
Just a fun fact, the competition leading up to the Youth Olympics, it was Chris and David really together at that.
Yeah, they were
the top 2 places fighting it out.
Pretty much head to head going into the lead, similar to what we see today.
And today Karin has just joined that mix.
Karin was a little too old to qualify for the Youth Olympics. But he's got a good chance today, currently in 3rd place. David getting to the top of the slightly overhanging section of the wall. About to cast off into the ocean of volumes and jugs dotting this horizontal roof.
Just in comparison to the ladies yesterday, we're seeing a lot more resting before the overhang. The men's route has a lot worse holds, and the beginning is a lot longer and more complex than the ladies was, and also the overhang's a lot longer as well. So we see them really capitalizing on that rest, and also seeing them really moving quickly through that beginning section as well.
Yeah, these guys know that after their time in this horizontal section of the route, they'll be quite tired, so they want to maximize the rest but not spend too long. David not getting the knee bar that we've seen some of the other competitors get in this position.
David looking strong through these moves.
David really making use of his incredible strength and power. David spends a lot of time bouldering, and that style of climbing requires a lot of strength and power, something that's helping him at the moment. Sure, he wishes he had a little more endurance. David getting close to the high point set by James Barnes. Crosses into it and holds it quite comfortably. Gets his feet up on the wall. David currently tied in 1st place. Using a really good toe hook. Just out of your screen there with the right foot. David at the end of the horizontal section of the route. About to pull the lip.
And here we go. Our first look at the face of this climb. Just see him starting to struggle a bit more.
David taking a moment to chalk up here on this good hold before he heads onto the head wall. David falling off.
just at the beginning of that overhang, giving us a new high point. It's going to be very interesting to see what the gentlemen after him do.
I'm just waiting for the judges to submit their score there, and I'll tell you how high David got. David with a little smile. He knows he did the best he could there. He would have loved to get higher. Would have loved to get to the top. This young gentleman up next, Ollie Marks. David Naudia making his way to hold 36. Christopher Cossa doesn't know it yet, but he'll be relieved to know that David did not make it to the top of this route. David currently in first place, second in speed, first in boulder, and currently first in the lead. Young Ollie Marks coming out next, taking a bit of his 45 seconds to go through the first section of the route. Just working through the route in his mind, visualizing his hands moving almost unconsciously as he visualizes himself climbing to the top. He can tell by which quick draws are swinging and which ones are not, that no one's topped this route yet. He's hoping he can be the one. This first section of the route not posing many problems for any of the climbers so far. But it is intense enough to drain some of the energy in their forearms, tiring them out just a little bit. Ollie cutting his feet a little bit there. That would have given a little bit of extra work to his forearms. Hopefully they're up to the task of keeping him on the wall for this next section of the route.
Not stopping for long to rest there, Ollie. See, most of the climbers before him got there in about a minute and a half, and he's getting to the minute and a half mark now, and he's already making his way through this overhang. So moving quickly here might be an indication of where his endurance levels are.
Ollie also not finding that knee bar just yet. Going for a toe hook with the right foot. Bicycling between his left and right feet there. Ollie reaching ahead to clip that long quick draw. Using that right toe hook really well. Camming the inside of his left foot against the ceiling while his left heel sits on that yellow sloper. Ollie with a nice move to that long twofer.
Looking very good.
Ollie really looking quite comfortable at this moment on the route. Of course, in a few seconds that can change. One crimp being enough to wake your forearms up, push them into the red zone where pump is telling you you can't do another move. your brain and competitive spirit telling you you have to.
And here we go. Fantastic. Ollie now making his way over this little bulge.
Ollie moving really nicely on this section of the route here.
Fantastic. There goes
Tied
the
with
elbow
David.
as he fights. Excellent work from Oliver there.
Ollie will get the plus on hole 36, putting him just ahead of David Naudia, pushing David Naudia down into second in the rankings.
That's gonna add a little bit more spice to the results of the top three there. So very nice work from Ollie.
Karin Curtis up next. Well known for his sport climbing ability. His ability to pull a good result out the bag. Ollie actually getting to hole 37, which puts him in first place for the lead portion of this event so far. David Naudia currently in second. That gives him 4 points. Currently tied with Chris on points. Christopher Cossa still needs to climb. If he can make it higher, he will win this competition.
Karin here still has a very good chance of taking the win for himself. He just has to make sure he secures the high point. I think a top will do him just great.
Karin currently with 6 points, third in speed, apologies, and second in the bouldering, gives him 6 points. The best he can hope for now is third place. Ooh, second place actually, after David Naudia. He's finished climbing and he has 4 points. Karin with 6. If he places first in this lead section, 6 will be his total. Interestingly enough, if Karin tops this route and Chris Cossa tops this route, it'll push David Naudia out of the running.
And if Karin does better than both Chris and David, Karin will take it, won't he?
No, he can't. He has too many points already.
Never mind.
Karin moving a little higher before deciding to clip this next quick draw. See his heel, left heel on that big yellow hold.
Karin just taking some time to compose himself before this overhang.
Yeah, climbing a little slower.
And we're off. Nice and strong movements here.
Karin with a good left toe hook there. Seen some of the other climbers put a heel hook there.
Karin being a lot taller than most of his competitors, has to usually find weird and wonderful ways to have that body tension on moves such as on routes and climbs such as this. Not always looking the most glamorous, but making it work.
Climbing is a sport known for its style and grace, but sometimes that gets sacrificed in an effort to get to the top.
Yeah. I personally think looking good is always better than climbing hard, but
Is that why you've not climbed that hard, KP? You always look too good on the wall.
Rule number 1, always look good.
Rule number 2, of course, being have fun.
Yes.
Rule number 3, be safe. That's why they say safety third.
Preach, brother, preach.
Karin is into the tufa at the end of the roof, taking a moment to catch his breath.
And this was where we lost James.
Cole will be excited to get out of the horizontal section.
He's really capitalizing on this rest here. Making sure he's ready to give this next section some horns.
Karin going to that next hold with his right hand, matching it up. We've seen all the other competitors go with their left only. Karin using his strength to compensate for that. Karin looking, ooh, just slipping off hold 36. That'll place him just behind David Naudia.
So that throws Karin out of the running for first.
The last man to climb, Christopher Cossa, if he gets a top on this route, will win this competition. Him and David will be tied on points, and it'll roll back to the qualifier where Christopher came first. Chris knows what he needs to do. He won't be very happy with his performance in the boulders. His performance in speed setting him up with a chance to win this competition. He's spent a lot of time training, preparing for this competition, and this is the moment to show the world what he's got.
Lead definitely being Chris's strongest discipline.
Chris was the only one to top the qualifier. The qualifying lead route that we saw on Friday. Chris definitely has the physical capability to climb this route to the top. He's sent HC on sport. But the competition environment and the work he's already done today might be enough to tire him out. Chris needs to keep it together, keep calm, and execute.
See him making a really good pace here. Not trying to go too fast, not trying to go too slow. Just trying to get a good rhythm going. Setting the pace for himself for the rest of this route. Just shaking out every one or two or so moves. Making sure he's ready to tackle the next few sections of this climb. Hopefully giving us a top. I think it will make the route setters and especially the audience very happy if he gave us a top.
The goal of climbing, of course, being to get to the top.
You see him just shifting gears there. Going a bit harder. Just very precise with his feet. Still very calm with his approach to this route.
Chris about halfway through the route now, just more than half of his time remaining.
Nice and smooth through these volumes.
Chris, of course, has to do better than David in this lead section of the competition if he wants to take the overall win.
Looking calm and collected. Not phased at all. Confident movement through these moves as he starts to make his way onto the face.
Chris taking a moment to rest on one of the smaller holds we've seen so far. Shows that he's not too tired and feeling quite confident.
Some excellent work here.
Chris, the first person to clip that jug. Clip that roll.
That is it.
Chris
That's
is
the
the
lead
highest.
for Chris Cossa. Can he give us a top for this? One move away. And yes, we have a top from Chris Cossa, taking the win, making his way onto the Olympic platform.
Christopher Cossa, he's done the best he can.
Absolutely exciting.
He can tell from the reaction of his fellow competitors that he's done it.
He's absolutely ecstatic, I'm pretty sure, with what he just did.
This young man has worked really hard for the past few years to be where he is today. Very well done, Christopher. Christopher Cossa, winner.
An absolutely excellent show from all the men in the final. I was biting my nails all the way through from bouldering.
Chris's performance in the bouldering giving all of us a little doubt as to whether he would take it, but his performance in the lead sealing the deal. Don't go anywhere. We have some prize giving coming up in a little while.
A fantastic show, absolutely love that. And a job well done to all the route setters, my goodness. It's been an amazing week with some amazing climbs. And I don't think we could have asked for a better, more perfect competition.
Pleasure, KP. Thanks for joining me in the commentary box, KP.
It's been an absolute pleasure to be here with you, Alistair. I enjoyed watching the show, and I hope the people at home enjoyed it as well. And well done to Chris, and well done to Aaron, and everyone else that competed this week.
Well done to you, KP. That's Kaleho Pobi, one of the competitors, joining me today for the lead commentating.
Yeah, from checking into just like bam, into the you're finished. Dude.
Chris there, just getting some congratulations from his dad. Now we can see the podium set up. Callie Bishop in the red, one of the higher ups here at CityROCK. And behind her, Dane Bishop, one of Chris's coaches. For those of you that weren't paying attention, Christopher Cossa has taken first place in the men's IFSC-African Championships here in Cape Town. Next year, along with Aaron Sturkenberg, he'll be going to the Olympic Games to represent Africa in this great sport that we love, climbing. Yeah, you can see the results in front of you. Christopher Cossa, that fourth place in bouldering not costing him. Tops in lead, the only person to top the lead route. And of course, 3 wins in speed, putting him in first place with 4 points. Just behind David Naudia, second in speed, first in the bouldering, and third in the lead. Ollie Marks, a really strong performance in the lead, second place, just not enough to carry him through. Karin Curtis, many expected him to be on the podium. Sure, he's glad to be there. Disappointed, as David is, not to be in first place. For those of you that are hanging around, thank you so much. We have some presentation coming up in the next little while.
It would probably be handy if I had the octopus thing going. I've got slightly too many things to hold here. We've got one microphone for the hall here, and we've got another microphone for the live feed, because the hall doesn't pick up very well here.
You just saw Christopher Naudia there on the organizing committee for this competition.
We've reached the end of the IFSC-African Championship, and we are now at the point where we will be able to see who won well, some of you probably know already, but we'll see who is finally selected to go to the Olympic Games on the male side. We saw the female side last night, and we'll see the male side now. So, will the 3 athletes please come up? We've got, just going to make sure I've got it in the right order. Karin Curtis, David Naudia, and Chris Cossa. So, the secretary of the SANCF, the local, South African Federation, will hand over the third prize to Karin. Thank you, Karin. Well done. And Graham Alderson, representing the IFSC, is going to hand over second prize to David Naudia. Well done, David. And we're very honored to have with us here today the Deputy Mayor of Cape Town, and he's going to hand over the first prize to Chris Cossa. Chris is the selected athlete to go to the Olympic Games. Well done, Chris. Sorry about that. You want to take some photographs? I'm going to leave all my thank yous till last, but the Deputy Mayor will now say a few words. And we really would, I'm just going to say a huge thank you to them for their support for this competition, without whom it would not have happened.
Well, thank you very much, and it's great once again to say it's been wonderful for the city to be able to host this event. It has been great in this very difficult year for events to be able to do so, and I just want to thank the Federation for bringing this event to Cape Town. We hope you've been satisfied with us here and what you found here. Congratulations to everyone who's been part of this, to CityROCK, to all the organizers, all the sponsors, and of course all the participants. Congratulations in everything that you've achieved in this, and congratulations to those who've taken the top spots. You really thrilled people here, I believe, today. So hope we go forward and that we will see an ongoing interest in the sport here in Cape Town. We don't have a mountain for no reason. And it's great to be here in the gym as well, but Cape Town is the place for events and also the place to do climbing. Thank you very much.
Thanks again to the Deputy Mayor and to the City of Cape Town for their fantastic support. Graham, do you want to say a few words? No? All right. Okay. Just thought it would be nice. So the owner of CityROCK, Robert Breyer, would like to say a few words, and I'll hand you over to him. They've given us fantastic support and been really good. It's been a great pleasure to be here.
I can do both. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Just a few words from myself. I'm Robert Breyer, and I'm the proprietor of this fine establishment. I just wanted to share a bit of history with you, how we got here today. 7 years ago, I was busy designing CityROCK Johannesburg. Many of you have been there, and that's where this whole thing started. And somebody said, why don't we build a speed wall? And I'm like, what the beep is a speed wall? Okay. I was convinced this was going to be a non-starter. Anyway, we built it anyway. 3 years ago, somebody said, let's go do one in Cape Town too. Climbing is now part of the Olympic Games, and maybe South Africa will have an opportunity. Well, we are going to Tokyo, people. Okay. Aaron and Chris are going to represent South Africa in Tokyo. I think that is a hell of an accomplishment. So well done. I don't know where they are, somewhere. There's Aaron. I don't know, where's Chris? There's Chris, okay. But it's been a real, I think, journey for many of us. And I'm just going to reflect back quickly on myself. Build it and they will come. That's the Kevin Costner line from the movie. And I think that's really worked well for me in this instance. This has been a phenomenally organized competition. I did nothing. And I love that. I built the thing, and Sandkef organized it. And I actually want to point out, George, I don't think we could have done this without you as a country, as a continent. 7 years ago, I think you had the foresight to go see what's possible in terms of competitive climbing in South Africa and beyond. So well done, George, for making this happen. And I might be repeating what Chris wanted to say later, I'm sorry. if I do. But the other point I want to make is we couldn't have done this without Chris Naudia, Western Cape Climbing. Phenomenal job. Yeah. And you know, we've seen many a competition come and go here at our CityROCK gyms, and this is like, we've set a whole new level. And I also want to thank, obviously, Graham and Jan. Where is Jan? Okay, anyway, Jan is sitting there, and you know, all the CityROCK setters, you know, I mean, last night was an early night for them, 12:30 apparently. The night before it is 3 a.m. And that boulder problem, that middle hand jam boulder problem, I think that was just phenomenally well set. And it was like obviously touch and go for the competitors from that point onwards. There are many people that contributed here. I'm like James Barnes, you know, Chris Cossa's coach from the Joburg days. I'm going to get all like, teary about this. This has been a phenomenal 7 years, and I want to thank you all. Last but not least, I want to say to Aaron and to Chris, you know where to find me. I will do anything I possibly can to make you two a success in Tokyo, okay? I mean that. We talked earlier on, you know, like there's no CityROCK in Durban. We've talked about building one many a time. It's never happened. But you know, Mike Bear, who's one of my partners in this business, we can build a speed wall on a scaffolding tower in Durban in 10 days, okay? We can send you these green holes down, you know, we buy 12 panels of plywood, we go rent some scaffolding, boom, you know, Chef will give you an automatic belay, away you go, okay? You know where to find me. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for listening. Okay, well done.
Thank you, Robert. Right, we've got one more thing to do before before I get on to my thanks. We're going to do our local SANCF prizes for the lead, speed, well, not in that order, speed, boulder, and lead. The winners of each of those, and we have a medal for all of those. So, starting off with speed, we've got Cal, David, and Chris again. There's our speedsters. David, who absolutely loves speed climbing. Sorry. And then for the boulder competition, we have James Barnes, Karin, and David. Well done, guys. And lastly, we've got the lead climbing. You all saw that here now a few minutes ago. We've got David, Ollie, and Chris. Well done to all the athletes. I'd like to say very well done to all of you. You made it a fantastic competition. We've had stunning... Sorry about all the papers floating around here. I'm just going to need to get them again. Right, now it's time for the thank yous. Now my list, we managed to compress it into one piece of paper, but actually there's a huge list of people here. First of all, I'd like to thank once again the sponsors, starting with the Pakes in Rocklands, CityROCK, Black Diamond, all who gave prizes, and Rogger Kloof also gave prizes. We've got the City of Cape Town and the Department of Sport, as you can see here, supported us financially, as well as giving us a huge amount of support morally and keeping the motivation going in some pretty tough times. Next, I'd like to just thank... Sorry, hang on, there's some more people here now. No, I think that's it, I hope. Graham and Jan from the IFSC, who came out to be the technical delegates and the route setter. They did a fantastic job, and without them it would definitely not have run as smoothly, and the routes would have not have been as fantastic as they were. Well done, Jan. I really seriously appreciate those efforts. I'd like to just thank with Jan the team there, Siobhan and Kent and David and Matthew and Mel and Jared and Raymond. I'm not sure if I've forgotten anyone off that list, but I think that's the list I was given for the route setting. They really did, as you heard earlier, they worked till 3 in the morning the other day to just completely reset a route because they thought it wasn't quite up to scratch, so they started again. The SANCF team who came down here, George and Neil, making sure that everybody's got their masks on. Thank you, and for organizing the testing and so on. That was greatly appreciated. My local organizing committee, you've been amazing. Between Jeff, who's been doing the live feed, and Anwar and Colette, Rolf, really, I couldn't have done it without you either. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this. Natalie, thanks for all the publicity stuff. She's done an amazing job. You'll see the report when it comes out, but there's been a huge amount of publicity that's gone out worldwide. We've had reports in newspapers and TV and radio all over the world. The commentator, Alistair, with the people that you were interviewing, and I didn't get to hear all of it. I'm afraid I'll have to go and watch the YouTube clips afterwards, but there he is. Thank you very much. Then the judges, Colette, Sandy, Murray, Lyneth. Yeah, is that all? It looks like a short list there. And scorers, Anwar, Steve, Annika, Chris, Sylvia, thanks so much for your time. It's always... Sorry? I did say Sandy, didn't I? Yes. I don't think I missed her. Sandy? I did say your name, didn't I? Yeah. And then the isolation stewards, Jessie, once again, a sterling job. She's been doing it for us for so many years and always here to help. Steve and Annika, sorry, Jonathan, Nicholas, where's Nick? Yeah, also running around for the whole weekend. Fantastic, thank you very much. The belayers, Warren, Ross, Siobhan, Kent, it's a lot of hard work. Thanks so much for that as well. The timers and brushes, Llewellyn, Matthew and team, Kent. I don't know, I'm sure there's people I've missed out on that one that were not on the list and just stepped in at the last minute. CityROCK staff, Callie, you've been amazing. Dane and Taryn and the whole team, all of you, well done, thank you very much. The physio, Chris, where are you? There he is, the physio, keeping our athletes in good shape. Well done. Thank you very much. There is someone that I do want to just particularly outline is Josh Hansen, who listened to the live stream at first and said the sound doesn't look good, doesn't sound good to me. I'd never met him before. None of us had met him. And he just came in and he said, please can I help? I do this stuff. And he spent the entire weekend here with us, volunteering to help. So thanks very much, Josh. I really think that was amazing initiative and well appreciated. And lastly, but definitely not least, I really want to thank the people from the team from Uganda, Richard and Brandon and Emma and Credo and Simon. Thanks so much. Without it, it wouldn't have been a proper African competition, and really, next time, we'll see you again, and at our nationals. Thank you. And of course, always the coaches and parents and so on. I'm being waved a finger at you, I've forgotten something. Yeah. Oh, the medic, yeah, sorry, the medic who sat here the whole time, Quentin Hannibal.
Chris, you've forgotten yourself. Big hand for Chris.
So at this stage in the game, we would normally give a little present to all of all the helpers who did that. We are going to give you a bottle of olive oil from the Pakes. They've kindly donated a whole lot of olive oil from us. You really will enjoy it. It's really great olive oil, and you will all know the Pakes very well from Rocklands. So thanks very much to them for that. We did decide, given the latest disaster here, where I don't know. Probably you all know more about it than I have because I've had my head down a bit. But we had 1,000 houses burnt down in Masiphumelela. We've got about 5,000 people here locally that are displaced from their homes. And we've decided to rather spend the money on, rather than buying you a small gift that you will probably enjoy but don't need, to give it to all the people at Masiphumelela. Sorry, I've forgotten the name of the... Living Hope Foundation is collecting money for and goods and blankets and stuff like that for all the people whose houses burnt down. So if any of you want to donate to that one, please do go on the website. I think the banking details and the website have been on the live stream during the day, but I think we would like to just take that money that we would normally have spent on that and donate it to people who really do need it at this time. So thanks very much. Have I forgotten anything else? My memory. Speak. Oh, sorry. So all of the helpers, if you could just go, all of the people that I said, the belayers and the judges and all of that, if you could just go and see Colette and Natalie, they'll give you a bottle of olive oil. Thank you very much, everybody. I think I've said everything. I hope I have. If I haven't, please forgive me. It's been a long weekend, and I'm seriously very happy with the way it all went. And we'll see you here when we do the next Continental Championship or the Nationals or a Boulder World Cup, may I say? Cheers. Thank you very much.
you.